Awesome, Mike. So yeah, I want you to tell the audience, who you are and of course, what you do for work.
I'm the founder of the Field Bar. We make bars with benefits. So we're making people, a little bit happier, a little bit at a time, one bite at a
Mhm.
time. And we make super clean protein bars. We distribute them
That's
nationally.
awesome.
So yeah.
It's cool. So I did see, like in your bio, I think you used to work at like a Fortune 500 food manufacturer company. Is that correct?
Yeah. I used to work at Kellogg.
Yeah, that's awesome. So like how's the process from you kind of, transitioning to like a business owner from like a Fortune 500 company? How did you learn the skills you need to, start a CPG brand like, the Field Bar?
Yeah. Kellogg was a perfect segue into what I'm doing here because it gave me a high level view of like what it's like to take a company from inception to execution to eventually seeing it on the shelf. And I got to see the manufacturing side and work cross functionally. It was a gift, honestly. I'm really
Mm,
grateful for that experience. I love
gotcha.
Kellogg. It's still a great company. I mean, loved my experience there. I don't think I'd be
Mhm,
able to do this as effectively without the
mhm.
experience they gave me. So
Yeah, not a lot of people in e-coms like kind of start off with a consumer product good, right? They usually do something like maybe like t-shirts or like apparel. So kind of jumping into that CPD niche like right from the start is like a really, really good like vehicle
yeah,
just to,
yeah, good upper hand, I guess. Yeah, good
Yeah,
foundation. Felt like for sure.
cool. So yeah, Mike, so how did you hear about, Dow's Digital and, about our services?
You on Instagram with your glasses and I think they were shaded out and it
Uh,
caught my attention. I don't know. There was a well put together ad, so I thought, if they could
mhm.
run this ad well, then I'm sure they could market well. So
I appreciate it. So
yeah,
what were you guys struggling with, before signing on? How was the business like beforehand?
we did it in house. And we realized this isn't working, so we went to the house and then it started working.
What were you doing in-house?
We were running flows, Klaviyo flows. We did
Hmm.
native Shopify campaigns, and we just weren't seeing a lot of traction.
Hmm. And do you happen to remember like the email attributed revenue, before working with us and, kind of explain to the audience what that attributed revenue is looking like now, or yeah,
I mean,
what
yeah,
like,
our open rates were put a pin on it. I think our open rates were like 20. So I remember like 30%. We were getting 30%
mhm,
open rates on promotional offers, and then attributed revenue per ad, and it was pretty weak. We had an
mhm.
audience of like 9,000, mailing list of 9,000 at the time. Now it's doubled. It's been a
Oh
couple
wow.
months, uh, so it's come a long way.
Yeah, you
Thanks
guys
to you
are
guys.
crushing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are crushing it. Since joining Mike, what are some wins or milestones you have achieved as, a business owner or, just in general, kind of talking about email marketing?
I would say, to answer your milestone question, I think when we sold 1 million bars, we realized like that was kind of like, oh crap, like we're an actual face in the marketplace now, and now
Hmm.
we need to treat ourselves as a player in the game. And I think we weren't really giving email marketing the time of day until
Hmm.
we saw like what's possible. I mean, we saw a huge lift. I mean, you guys were the Klaviyo attributed revenue was up like 300% in the last
Hmm.
month. We have a substantial. It's like a new revenue stream. So,
Yeah.
honestly, this is kind of a no-brainer for people who are struggling with marketing. Like I'll just speak for anyone who hasn't had a good experience with either an agency or in-house. Like stop
Hmm.
doing it yourself. You don't know it all, and the sooner you have that humility, the faster you can make more money.
Yeah,
Straight up.
100%. And of course, like for consumable brands too, it's especially important just because, they're able to buy like monthly or like weekly opposed to something like clothing. You're probably gonna get something like that like 3 months, every 3 months probably, but for like food consumables, you're probably gonna be getting it monthly if the customer likes
For
your
sure.
product, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you guys have brought our open rates up like 40, 50% in
Hmm.
some promotional emails. And honestly, the biggest feedback I have, the biggest, I guess, kudos I have to your team is the way they're
Hmm.
structured in Slack. Like we operate in Slack. I think the mode of communication is so transparent. It's so clean. Utilizing the platform like Figma, we can go on and make comments and updates, and just everything is so streamlined. It's professional, concise. Your people are great. Exceptional. So just nice to know that we don't have to worry about any of that, and we can rely on seeing that needle move in the green direction at the end of the
Mhm.
month.
And then, usually, so our team handles, of course, like the e-commerce side. You guys, you guys are like in retail and everything like that. Have you seen like retail sales kind of being affected with something like email marketing, retention marketing?
Usually, when you scale in retail, you see the benefit in ecom. So we have landed a couple accounts, regional accounts, but they support each other. Like the more exposure you have, the more you'll see that effect online,
Hmm.
and vice versa. So I would say, yeah, we've felt a little bit of a push. Yeah, nothing
Oh,
substantial, but we felt something.
I
Yeah.
got you. Awesome, Mike. And then, like, what's one piece of advice you have for other clients or, customers of ours that want to get the most out of our, services?
And you're talking existing clients.
Yeah, to existing and people that's kind of like like on the fence of hopping on
Mm.
board.
If you don't have an in-house marketing team that has extremely, vetted and experienced and has a track record, pay these guys to run your ads, and you'll be very happy because I know it was a point of contention for me for years, and one of the biggest piece of advice that like I have is, you can do it all, but you can't do everything really well. So pick
Mhm.
this one thing that I know these guys can do really well, and just give them the opportunity to prove themselves, and it'll be worth its weight in gold. Yeah, and to add to that, it's like, I deal with a lot of people, and I'm the face of the brand, and we have a
Mhm.
small team. I had professional relationships with a lot of other vendors, and we have different agencies and stuff like that. This agency, the house is hands down the most intuitive and seamless to work with. It seems very frictionless. I get a message like
Mhm.
saying, "Hey, these flows are ready for you to look at and approve," and then and then we get reports and a content calendar. Everything's just so structured and easy, so it saves me time, and that makes me happy. It saves me time, makes me money. It's an obvious yes. So you guys rock, and I'm a huge advocate. So thanks for being a partner with us.
Yeah, anytime, Mike. Well, yeah, that's pretty much all the questions I had for the interview. Yeah, just for the audience, for those that are kind of on the fence of trying to work with us, what is kind of one advice you would have for them?
If you're on the fence, just take the leap and understand, and just realize that these guys can provide big value for you. I mean, if you're telling me that you yourself can have 40+% open rates, positive 20 to 30% attributed revenue month over month, by all means, keep doing it yourself. But if you want to free up your bandwidth and make have a little bit more top line rev at the end of the month, your P&L is going to look much better. I would just say give them a shot. Get out of your own head. At least for me, this is my own advice to myself. But when I removed myself from the equation and realized like I wasn't a professional in this, give it to the pros, and these guys are pros. I've grew up with guys in the ad space. Um,
Mhm.
I was roommates with two guys that ran their own agencies,
Oh,
and so
wow.
I know what that expertise looks like, and these guys have it. So give them a shot. You'll be happy.